So I don't know if y'all saw the recent Supreme Court ruling. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cry. But they sided with the Trump administration on nationwide injunctions, which was preventing birthright citizenship, which was preventing Trump's birthright citizenship executive order from going in effect. And so essentially it's a 30-day pause before whatever guidance they put out will go in effect, which essentially means that you can't do a nationwide injunction to curtail some of his executive orders, which essentially means that it puts 250,000 children. It puts 250,000 children in limbo. And we know that they don't want to stop there. They've already been trying to position to put U.S. citizens in foreign jails, which we know a lot of that will be Black and brown people. And the Supreme Court basically said that they can rewrite the Constitution unilaterally. So it seems the only way to protect yourself or your child, and like, I'm trying not to cry, but as a mom, it's hard to imagine you not knowing if your child is safe. Citizenship is like the bedrock of the Constitution. If you're born on the land of the United States of America, you're a citizen. So for the court to put out this order and then not even comment on the merits, which essentially puts all us in limbo, it takes years to get to the Supreme Court. That means you can be a citizen in California, but you might not be a citizen in Texas. And we've already seen them use the National Guard to go and usurp the governor of California. And the courts have already ruled in that situation that they have the ability to usurp the governor and use the National Guard if they feel like it. And we all read that executive order where he wants to do that.
I don't know what she's talking about. And I mean, I did a simple Google search as to what happened, and she's completely wrong. And not just a little off. I mean, she butchered every single point she was trying to make, which is nuts because there's a lot of people that get their news off of TikTok. And the fact that she garnered a little bit of attention here on this video, I'm sure there are people saying, oh yeah, damn, that's terrible. Believe in her. All right, so let's break this down a little bit so that way, hopefully this video will garner some attention, and that way the right information can be spread. So the claim that the Supreme Court ended birthright citizenship, no, that's not what happened. Birthright citizenship is still intact. The court did not strike down the 14th Amendment or Trump's executive order itself. They simply ruled on the scope of injunctions, a legal procedural issue. The 30-day delay was added to give the lower courts time to adjust their rulings. That's what happened there. Also, the claim where 250,000 children are now in limbo, there's absolutely no law in effect yet. Even if Trump's executive order takes hold in some states, lawsuits are pending, and no one has lost citizenship at this moment. She's panicking over a hypothetical. And now, the other claim that Trump wants to throw U.S. citizens in foreign jails, that shit is pure lies. There is zero executive order or policy discussing jailing American citizens in foreign countries. That's a wild leap from reality. The Supreme Court said they can rewrite the Constitution. That was another claim. Not even close. The court didn't touch the Constitution. It ruled that district courts can't block federal policy for the entire country unless it directly affects the plaintiffs. That's a technical ruling on the power of judges, not a rewrite of the Constitution. And then she also said the claim where the states will now have different definitions of citizenship. Citizenship is a federal status, not a state-by-state concept. She should have learned that in junior high school. She confused jurisdictional injunctions with the idea of citizenship being up for state interpretation, which it's not. This was a procedural green light, not a policy implementation. Trump's executive order to limit birthright citizenship is still under legal fire and hasn't gone into effect anywhere. The court just said district judges can't halt it from everyone, only for people in the lawsuit. So she's either grossly misinformed or she's deliberately spreading panic. And as we all know, two things can be true at the same time. Either way, this is a perfect example of why emotion-driven activism, mixed with a little bit of legal ignorance, is dangerous. People end up crying about things that never even happened, while the real issues go untouched and unnoticed. Like today, we live in a world where the loudest voice often wins attention, even when it's the most misinformed. And this is why platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and everything become echo chambers of emotional misinformation. It's time we start teaching civics, constitutional law, critical thinking again, not just in high school, but public school, junior high school, middle school, whatever. Now, I'm going to leave it there. What say you? Leave it in the comments, share the video so that way people like her are not spreading all kinds of crazy news. All right? Until then, I'll see you on the next one.